What's up, guys? I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're Drivin and Vibin.
Today we are talking about our top 10 towns in the USA, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if it's your first time here, we would love for you to subscribe and join the Vibe Tribe.
So over the year of 2017, we've probably visited 100 different towns at least. And every year people ask us what towns we like the best. So we decided to create a top 10 list based on this year's travels.
Yeah, and it is so hard to choose 10 because we love each place we go for something different and unique. But these are the ones that stood out in our memory for this past year.
And when we use the word town, we're talking about on this list anything between the maximum is 500,000 population to about a population of 1,000. So it really varies, but our criteria really is it has to have great nature, good walking trails, and what else would you say? Decent
shopping. We kind of like the balance of having a town big enough to have good things to do, good places to eat, but not being overcrowded and overwhelming because we are not used to really big cities.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and jump into the list, and we'll start with number 10, and that is Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah, so we visited Sedona for the first time just recently in the past month, and it was a really beautiful place. Just the red rocks everywhere in this town situated right in the middle of all this beauty.
One of the good things about Sedona for us was that there is a good amount of free camping nearby. So any town that has free camping is more inviting to us just because the way we travel. But the drive into Sedona from Flagstaff was also one of the most memorable experiences on our trip to Sedona.
It was such a beautiful scenic drive and just gorgeous. The leaves were changing and falling off the trees. It was nice and cool outside, so it was a beautiful drive. And right in Sedona, one of our favorite things about this place was there's so many great hiking trails to do.
Yeah, we hiked, I think what they call it Devil's Arch.
Devil's Bridge.
Devil's Bridge, and then we also did a few other smaller hikes, but they're great because a lot of the hikes are dog friendly too. So Sedona gets 2 big thumbs up from us. One thing to consider is that it's going to be super hot if you go there in the summertime.
Yeah, it was a little hot when we were there too. And what time was that?
It was about it was in October.
Yeah, so it was still a little warm.
Downtown Sedona has tons of restaurants, and they have a great variety of restaurants, all the way from healthy eating, Italian cuisine, straight up American cuisine, and all sorts of local flair in those restaurants.
Next up, coming in at number 9, we have Oceanside, California.
Oceanside, California is just north of San Diego, and for us it really had that quintessential surfer town vibe.
Yeah, it was exactly what I think of when I think of Southern California. It's like the weather was perfect, we were right next to the ocean, all the surfers were out like waxing their boards, and everyone walks along the beach every day, so it just had a really cool laid-back vibe.
And even though it's located near a bigger metropolitan area than what we usually enjoy, Oceanside felt like it was in its own little bubble right there.
And where we were camped, it was right next to a big green city park and a nice walking trail down to the beach, so it was very low-key. And in town, we had tons of great shopping and food options, so anything we wanted, we had it available to us.
My favorite characteristic of the town was that from the RV park where we were staying, I could just go out on a jog, and I would jog right along the Pacific Coast down to the Oceanside Pier, and it all just felt very nice and small, even though it was in a big city.
So coming in at number 8 on our list is Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson is one of the southernmost cities in Arizona, and it is filled with beautiful cactuses. There is a national park right in there. What's it called?
The Saguaro National Park.
In that park, there's great hiking trails, and it's just a beautiful, unique scenery as far as the whole U.S. goes.
Yeah, there's also tons of museums around, like a wildlife preserve and different things like that to explore in the area, and tons of good hiking around.
And Tucson also has a relatively big college, and any town that has a college vibe, we really enjoy because that usually means good dining options and fun thrift store options as well.
Yeah, we really liked going into all the little vintage and thrift shops, but there's something for everyone. There's the nice like high-end restaurants and bars, and like Kyle said, the college scene.
Obviously, Tucson gets super hot in the summertime. It's not somewhere where we would want to visit in the dead of the summer, but during the winter and during the spring, it is a perfect place to visit.
Yeah, and We had so many great food options there. We ate some of the best like burritos and Mexican food we've probably ever had. While we were there, we also visited the San Javier del Bac mission, and it was so beautiful. We just went inside and were amazed by the beautiful intricate carvings along all of the walls and ceilings.
Yeah, there's a ton of history in Tucson that is fun to discover as well. So overall, we really enjoyed the city, even though it is on the larger end of our comfort spectrum. Coming in at number 7 is Hot Springs, Arkansas.
So we have a soft spot for this place because it was the first place we stopped on our route when we first hit the road as full-timers.
And then we stopped there again about a year later to just get a second viewing of the town, and we fell in love with it even more. So we have to mention that our favorite pizza place that we've come across in the entire country is located in Hot Springs.
Yeah, DeLuca's Pizza. If you're going through, have a slice for us because it is amazing, and it's just a really cool area because there's tons of natural hot springs there. It's famous for its turn-of-the-century bathhouses, and the national park there, the Hot Springs National Park, was one of the first areas and oldest areas managed by the National Park Service.
We also really enjoyed the national park because the trails in there are dog-friendly, which is totally unique, but the trails there are fun to hike, and we know River really enjoyed hiking them with us.
Yeah, when we stayed in the national park, there were trails right at the back of the park that we could take all the way into town or off to some beautiful overlooks. I know Sugarloaf Mountain is a great hike nearby to get a good view of the valley below, and there's just a lot of cool history there. We had a lot of fun. We even did a radio interview while we were there with the Record You Need to Know guys at KUHS, so that was a really fun experience for us too. Coming in at number 6 on our list is Fairhope, Alabama. We may be a little biased on this one because it is our hometown, but it is just a beautiful area.
So many RVers we meet want to get away from where they're from, but we actually love the area. There are so many great options for eating, and it is just an artist community, which makes it really fun to explore and experience.
Yeah, Fairhope is all about supporting local businesses, and whether that means seafood, art, music, or farmers markets, you name it, it's all so such a tight-knit community and love supporting one another.
It's located right on Mobile Bay and just about 15 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, so that is awesome, but you also have to consider that if you're going in July or August, it is going to be blazing hot with humidity in the 100%, so yeah. It isn't a great place to visit in the dead of summer.
Yeah, if you're not used to humidity too, you might just feel like you're drowning out there. We're pretty used to it and are acclimated to it, so our skin loves it, but it is something to keep in mind for sure.
Along with a great choice of restaurants and a great downtown environment, on the waterfront there are beautiful walking trails and biking trails that run for miles along Mobile Bay.
We always get asked where the one place we would choose if we had to settle down would be, and we always say our hometown, and it's not just because our family and friends live there, but it is just a really great area to live in.
Coming in at number 5 on the list is New Orleans, Louisiana.
So New Orleans is fun for all of the obvious reasons. They have great Cajun food and jazz music and just lots of fun stuff to do all the time, and they take Mardi Gras really seriously down there.
Of all the cities we visited across the country, I really feel that New Orleans is one that stayed so true to their heritage and their culture. They haven't been overrun by commercialism like some of these other towns, and they have a great amount of history right there.
It is such a vibrant and diverse community, and there's so much to do there and explore some really great history. We went for Halloween one year and we did a haunted tour where we got to walk around the city and learn all of the creepy history. We got to see where Marie Laveau lived and a few other iconic landmarks.
There is also some good camping right outside of downtown New Orleans at a state park. If you want to be a high roller, they have a RV park located right in the French Quarter. So there's so many camping options, and obviously a bunch of hotels and Airbnbs if you want to visit.
If you want to get the full New Orleans experience, I highly recommend going during Mardi Gras. Just be prepared to catch some beads, bring a bag, and just be ready to have a good time.
So coming in at number 4 on our top 10 towns list is Julian, California.
So So we took a day trip to Julian from the steamy desert of Borrego Springs, and were pleasantly surprised when we got up there. It was nice and crisp, there was lots of trees, it's right like up this mountain, so it was just a completely different environment.
I think it's at around 4,000 feet elevation, and you can notice that difference coming from the desert. The town is known for its apples and apple pies and apple cider, and we tried all of the above when we were visiting.
You have to get a slice of Julian apple pie if you're coming through the area. Kyle said it was definitely worth it, and I can attest to their apple cider and apple butter.
I'd recommend visiting the town during the Christmas holiday season. That's when we went there, right at the front end of the season, and it was filled with charm and holiday spirit. I'm sure it's beautiful year round though, and being at a higher elevation, you can probably go there even in the summertime and not be too hot.
Yeah, they had everything decorated in like garlands and lights and things like that everywhere, so it really got us into the spirit, and it was nice and cool outside, so drinking our warm apple cider, it was just a really fun, unique experience.
And there's some good mining history locally there too, if you have time to check out and explore that. Coming in at number 3 is one of the towns we've spent the most time in this year, and that is Moab, Utah.
So Moab is home to Arches National Park, and Canyonlands National Park is just a short drive away, and both of those parks are just mind-blowingly beautiful.
You can explore those parks for 2 weeks at a time for both of them and not run out of things to do. It is just amazing. But we also really enjoyed downtown Moab.
Yeah, there's lots of great restaurants down there and shops and different things to do walking around town, but we also love just the hiking trails that are in the area, and whatever outdoorsy thing you're into, whether it's hiking, biking, ATVing, off-roading, kayaking, rafting, Moab has it all.
One of the few things to consider when visiting Moab is that everything costs a little bit more money there. We noticed that we spend more money in Moab, not just because of the higher prices, but because we want to do more when we're in the area. So just be expecting that when you go to visit. And there's a lot of great free camping nearby and RV parks, so options are unlimited when it comes to camping.
It is going to be super hot in the summer, so I would recommend going during the fall sometime. We were there in like October, and it was really nice out.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it, so we would recommend going in the spring or the fall to get ideal weather. Coming in at number 2 is Taos, New Mexico.
So we stopped by Taos on our way around the Enchanted Circle in northern New Mexico, and we were just blown away by how beautiful the whole area is. It's like an 83-mile loop of different towns and just beautiful scenery going through the mountains and valleys. But Taos really connected with me for some reason. It just had a very nice, relaxed, laid-back vibe.
There is a lot of culture and heritage in the area, which is very fun to learn about and fun to experience firsthand. We really liked Taos more than Santa Fe, which is a nearby city, because Taos felt so authentic when we went to visit.
It did. It had a lot of authentic restaurants and culture, and we really enjoyed learning more about the Native American heritage there. They actually had a cultural event going on where they were doing dances and all sorts of things celebrating their heritage.
And New Mexico is known for its chilies. Taos is no different. We bought a bundle of chilies that we're still cooking with today, and we went out to eat at multiple different restaurants, from pizza to Mediterranean food, and it was all a great experience.
They seem to really support local businesses there too, and we got some great like fresh bread that was so good, some really good local roasted coffee. They have all sorts of handmade items and clothing, so there's tons of stuff to explore and see. So finally, at number 1 on our list, that is Durango, Colorado.
When people ask us that question, where would we live other than our hometown, our answer is now Durango, because it has everything we want as far as a small town feel, beautiful hiking trails, but a great restaurant and shopping options as well.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect size for us. It's big enough that there's plenty of stuff to do in the area. There's a restaurant that we had to have eaten at like 5 times in the 2 weeks we were there. If you're there, go to Gazpacho, have the tamales, they're amazing. But it was just a really beautiful Colorado town. The weather was great, the leaves were changing changing, so everything was bright orange and yellow, and I just really enjoyed our time there.
And they have a stream or a river running through the center of town with running trails and walking trails on either side of it, a train that goes through the town. It is all just a great vibe. And if you're in an RV there, there's free camping on both the eastern and western side of town and a few RV parks.
And it's also just a short drive to Silverton. You can take the $1 Million Highway up to Ouray and just look at the beautiful scenery and visit some of the other small towns nearby.
Now, we don't know what a winter there really looks like or feels like, so we would be hesitant to really visit anytime between December and February probably. But I could see ourselves settling down and really enjoying our time there in Durango.
Yeah, we would like to spend more time there in the future for sure.
We were able to see some live music when we were in Durango, and it seems like the town supports that live music scene. It is a college town as well, like we said in the past, which really makes the vibe of art and culture a little bit better in those towns.
There's tons of great venues to listen to live music and eat some good food. It's just a really cool vibe. We like the city and the shops and the entertainment there a lot. So if you're coming through the area, we highly recommend you stop by.
So those are our top 10 towns of 2017. We look forward to exploring so many more.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. We're gonna put the link to the blog post in the description where you can get a more in-depth idea of each of these towns, and if you couldn't keep up with what we were saying.
And if you want to check out our other recent top 10 lists, like the top 10 free campsites or top 10 RV gifts, we'll link one of those up here, and we'll put the rest of those in the comment section as well, so you can see all of our experiences from this year.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Later on.